Hey guys! So it seems that around Christmas time, people like to just give me these really cheap violins. This is the Kaizer violin. I haven't even opened it yet. And I looked it up on Amazon. It's about like $65 or $70, which is absolutely insane. I normally tell my students that around $200 should be the benchmark for cheap student violins, and anything less, you're at risk of getting what's called a violin-shaped object. Well, last year I did a review on a Mendini violin that was given to me. That actually surprised me in that it was only slightly above my standard for what a violin-shaped object is, so we'll see if this one passes the test. Packaging is really good on this one. The one downside to playing violin is that you don't have nails. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like pretty standard packaging. Yeah. That zipper is fine. That's the first thing I always look for, is to make sure that even the case is intact. Where's the zipper? Ah, it's in the middle. I guess I should open it this way so you guys can see it. Wow. They threw a lot of stuff in here. So, what you see here is actually pretty standard for really cheap instruments that are being mailed, that you'll find on like Amazon or eBay or whatever, is that they'll take the bridge off completely, so that way the instrument doesn't get damaged while it's being shipped. So if you open this for any brand and see it like this, don't panic, it's meant to be like this. So here's the bridge all wrapped up. Yeah, I find sometimes they have the bridge on and just super loose, and other times it's not even on. So, oops. Let's get this on. So, the strings here are still loose and everything, like I need to tune it still, but let's first look through everything that came with it, because it looked like there's quite a bit of stuff. There we go. So, take that rubber band off. So here's the bow. Huh. Okay, so for this bow, like, it feels like this sort of standard cheap bow that comes with violin outfits, but it seems to be a little thicker than usual to me. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it still feels like a cheap piece of wood to me. I mean, like, as a beginner, like, you don't really need an expensive bow or anything. Like, no matter what, when you're just going back and forth, you're going to sound however you're going to sound. An expensive bow isn't going to change that when you're first starting. What is this? Oh my gosh, wait, what is this? Wait, I should get my scissors. Where did I put those? Oh, here. It's a camera. Okay, I guess this is like a mount, I think, for the camera. That's cool. I did not think I was going to get this. That's a cool bonus. Maybe I'll make a video with that later and see how good of quality that is. Yeah, I think this is for the camera too. Yeah, this is all camera stuff. Yeah, I'll probably make a separate video for that. That's pretty cool. Although, since they throw in a camera for $70, it makes me question how good the instrument is. Yeah, instructions for the camera. Oh. So here's the shoulder rest that comes with it. It feels very similar to the Kuhn. If you're not familiar, the Kuhn brand for shoulder rests are one of the most popular shoulder rests there are on the market. But yeah, this... It feels kind of hard, but other than that, it looks just like the Kuhn that I have. Here, I have a... This is my violin, my good one. I'll just see how it feels for me on this one. Oops. So right here it's sitting pretty low. Let's see if I can adjust it any more to make it taller. A little bit. Most shoulder rests are adjustable, but some come even taller or even shorter. It all really just depends on the brand. That's not much better. Yeah, I'd say this is actually way better than what Mendini and Cecilio throw in with their violins. This one, yeah, is much better than what you get with the other ones. My only complaint is that it is very short, so if you have a long neck like me, you'd want to look into a taller brand, so that way you don't get injured. Okay, more for the camera. Wow, it's amazing they could fit that all in a case. Okay. This, I'm not sure how good this rosin is. Like, normally you get rosin that's in cardboard or paper box, and you know that that kind of rosin isn't good at all. But this one, it's in a plastic container. Like, I've never seen it like this before. So it could still be just a really bad rosin in a better container, but you don't know until you try it. So here, you'll get to see how long it takes for me to actually rosin a fresh bow. Brand new bows, they don't have any rosin on them, so you have to put a lot on them when you first get them. And that's totally normal. You don't really have to be afraid of putting too much rosin on a new bow. So this will take a while. Especially on a new rosin, it takes a little bit until it sort of gets warmed up. Yeah, I don't think I'm even doing a dent in this, so I'll have to scratch it a bit. Or maybe I can... Yeah, this could work. Improvise rosin scratching. Or maybe I have scissors. I should use your scissors. You see, sometimes just scratching the rosin really helps to just get it started. Since my violin is all ready to go, I'm just going to use it just to test out the bow. See, what you want to do is, in order to know when you actually have enough rosin on a brand new bow, is to just test it out. And if you're struggling to make any sound, then you know you need to keep rosining it. So right there, I could tell that I had to really work in order to keep my bow somewhat straight. And it was really hard to make a sound, so I know that I need to keep rosining it. And having to keep rosining it a lot speaks nothing towards it being a good bow or a bad bow. That's just how it is with any new bow, or having to just change the horsehair. You especially want a lot on your tip, simply because there's less arm weight near the tip. So it's harder to play forte at the tip than it is at the frog. So it just gives you a little bit of help to have a bit more on your tip. Let's try that. So there, it was much easier. I could make a sound, but I still would like a little bit more rosin than that. Just to make it easier on me. It should be effortless to make a sound with your bow. And I know for a beginner, you don't have any sort of muscle memory for how your bow works and the sort of relationship between your bow and how much sound you produce. So it will be a little challenging for the first little while, but sort of the golden rule, you get a new bow, you put as much rosin as you can, and you can't go wrong. It's better to have too much when you first get your new bow than too little. Okay, so now we're in business. Let's see. It's a bit heavier than what I'm used to, but it's certainly not the heaviest bow I've ever tried. Yeah, let me just try something else. Where's the balance point? Okay, about there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm finding the balance point of the bow, which is approximately here, which is a little bit low towards the frog. And that's sort of what I expected, since it is a bit of a heavier bow. And it's important for you to know where that is, because you need, if you want to play staccato or spiccato where you're bouncing the bow, that is sort of the point where you want to bounce around. Otherwise, if you're too far to the tip, it's very challenging to get a bounce and to make it not legato. If you're too far close to the frog, you're going to be controlling it more instead of letting it bounce naturally. So it was approximately around here. Let me just see how that works. Yeah, I can bounce fine with it. So like, even though it's a bit heavier, it's not really preventing me from doing anything that I wouldn't normally do. So yeah, normally with these cheap student outfits, they put in the cheapest piece of wood that they can find, but I'm actually impressed with this bow. So far, out of all the outfits that I've seen from online, this is the best bow that I've gotten out of it. So I don't think you'd have to replace the bow right away either. So, for the important thing, so this violin, it kind of feels strange. Like, I can feel it, just the texture seems kind of cheap to me. The wood is kind of, it's straight. It's all one color, like it's not stripy. Like if you look at mine, good violins, you'll see that there's sort of these stripes running down the back of them. Whereas the really low quality violins, there's nothing. So that's like a huge indicator. I kind of knew that getting this violin. The other thing, yeah, I think the purfling is painted on as well, which are these black lines here. So it's cheap, and it's also not doing a good job of pretending that it's not cheap, basically just by looking. Stopped recording for a split second there. So I'm looking at the pegs now, and they're not set properly. How I can tell is that there's a little bit of space in the holes here. It should be set so that they're right flush against the wood, like one flat surface. So that's one negative for me. Yeah, nothing really special about this violin just by looking at it. The only negative being the pegs, but we'll see if they hold. My one main thing is, as long as the pegs hold, it's okay if they're not really set properly, but if they're not holding and they're not set, like, that's a big problem. Like, you can't play like that. So I'll just take the shoulder rest that came with it and get that on. And, oh, I used my phone to tune. So I will play an A with my phone. Now, since these strings are completely out of tune, like they're not even tight, they're completely loose, what I do is I go through each string individually and then I tune them properly all together. So now this is the D string. Oops, fairly close. So far these pegs are staying in okay, so that's a good sign so far. These strings are brand new, and how you can tell is that it's going out of tune. Like, you can tell it's going out of tune even after, even though the pegs aren't moving. And that is normal. It usually takes about a week or so for strings to settle. Ooh. So kind of after I get my strings tightened and they're not in tune right now, I then go over them again, but with the bow, so that way the note is sustained and I can hear it being in tune or not, and kind of tune it the way I normally would. Okay, The other thing is once I have it in tune, I need to look at the bridge because the bridge tends to move when you tune it that much. And I can tell right now that this bridge is a little bit crooked. You can kind of see it on this side a little better. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's tilting that way. So all I do is I pinch it right here and kind of push it back into place. Oh, too much. And now, since I moved the bridge, I'm going to have to tune again because when you move the bridge around, it changes your strings. Sometimes pegs slip, and when they do, I just push it against my leg so that way I can push the pegs in while I'm turning them. See, I'm having to tune over and over and over again because there are no strings. It has nothing to do with the instrument being bad or anything. Okay, I think that's as close as I'm going to get it for now. I can tell right now that it doesn't sound that great, like in terms of quality. For me, there are two things that I'm looking for in any violin: is the quality of its sound and its volume. So, just a sec. Its volume is really good. Like, I think the volume-wise maybe even better than Mendini. So that means, like, I am able to project across the room. And so that is, like, A+. But the quality of the sound, it's very nasally. It kind of sounds like I'm playing inside of a little box and the sound isn't able to escape. It crunches very easily, like when I play my open G and as loud as I can, like that just doesn't sound very good. Once it gets ringing after my bow comes across, it sounds good, but not so much as I'm drawing this string. Here, just a sec. I forget how it goes. And it doesn't really help me that the instrument isn't responding to me as how I'd like it. It's kind of hard for me to remember since I played that piece like years ago. But yeah, so I don't know. Quality of this instrument is kind of meh. Volume is good. everything else about it is good. It's just kind of the quality that's really bugging me. So I'd say if you're looking into a cheap instrument, probably there might be better ones out there for you. But if you're just trying to find out if you even want to learn in the first place, it will do its job. Like, I think that's what these instruments are meant to do. Like, you're not paying for a good quality instrument to begin with if you're only paying $70. But yeah, it's okay. However, if you consider, I guess, whatever comes with it, like, oh my gosh, there's a camera in this thing. So yeah, you are definitely getting a lot more than expected for your dollar. Just don't expect the instrument itself to sound that good. Here, I'll play the same thing on my violin so you can hear the difference. If I can remember it. Well, first I played a G major scale, so. And then I played, it was the beginning of the Romanian folk dances. So you can hear, like, even on mine there's a bit of a crunch, but for that particular piece you're supposed to do that at, like, the beginning of the notes. That instrument, it kind of crunches a bit too much. So yeah, that's basically my review of the Kaizer violin. If you're planning to get it for Christmas, I'd say go ahead in order to find out if you want to learn at all. Like, you do get a decent shoulder rest. You get a camera. I'm not sure how good that is, but hey, camera. The bow I'd say actually is better than what you get in most very cheap online student packages. So basically the only downside is the violin itself, and I don't think it's the strings. Normally they kind of throw on the cheapest, very bad sounding strings that they can get their hands on just so that there's strings on these instruments. And I'd say it's not just the Kaizer brand, it's pretty much all of them that you'll find on Amazon. But in this case, I don't think it's the strings that are making it sound bad. I think it is the instrument itself that is very nasally. But other than that, you can project well. You can get yourself to be heard and annoy your neighbors with it. So yeah, that's kind of the only one problem with it. So this is Yoda. He's very quiet and really likes to cuddle, so I let him sit here this whole time. If you want to see my past videos, I'll put them somewhere, maybe over here, I'm not sure yet. And if you like this video, do what every other YouTuber asks you to do and click that thing. Bye. Want to say bye? Yeah?